my name is Starlight. I'm reaching out to all of you beautiful souls out there. I hope you were able to get out in nature and enjoy the sun. And, besides, I hope you're being kind to yourself. And don't forget, you are number one. So, sometimes you got to let other people go so you can focus on yourself. It's so important that how can out until you take care of yourself. So make sure you're eating good and get some exercise. Go take a hike somewhere, and you don't leave. I didn't mean that way. Get out in nature somewhere. Spend some time with Mother Earth. Mother Gaia. You know, um, it is such a healing when you do go out in the woods, and Starlight loves it so much that I have a hard time leaving when I get out, and especially a hiking place. Put Starlight out in the middle of nowhere. And besides being kind to yourself and having you to be number one is to make sure you are being kind. Like if you're married or have a husband or a wife or a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or if you got some baby kids or even teenagers, be kind to all of them. Those teenagers, they go through so much. It is tough. A lot of people point fingers and judging them for all kinds of stuff. So really, and even the little ones, but the teenagers, they take a really bad beat, and they got the school systems. Sometimes it might be even at church. You know, and that's why it's so important to keep your kids busy and occupied. Give them give them some work. Give them some chores. They got to have some balance. Playtime too. Go play some ball with them, or whatever sports you like. Take them out for a hike or a swim. You know, um, Take them out on a vacation. Do stuff with them. And that's the thing with this world. Not all moms and dads do that. So it is so good to make sure you keep them busy with positive things that will help them out when they get older. And so after that, if you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome. And you can find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that's Kathy with a K, Dingman. Plus, if you want to see a change in the world or be a change in the world, you can like my videos, give them a thumbs up. That way, these videos will help other people so they can get this kind of help. And I understand that all these videos are meant for everyone. That's why I try to have a variety of different types of videos. Also, you could share my videos not just with your pets, but with your with your family and your friends, and yeah, your not so furry friends and your furry friends. Yeah, so don't forget to share my videos with a cat, a dog, a an owl. Whoo, whatever, figured that out. So yeah, you could share it with an owl. Um, they are beautiful. I did have a long time ago. I did find a baby owl somewhere. Whoo, you know. Starlight did. So anyway, I do love all of you. Besides, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, you can push the notification bell, and I will push the bell. Also, you can leave a message down below, beep, beep, beep. And if you want, you can follow me, and that's at Instagram, and that's at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook at Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. So anyway, I was out in my park doing some yoga earlier, and I was like, what video am I going to make next? And I had some thoughts in the park. This is funny, when I do yoga out in the park, I'm always on the hill. So if you're looking for Starlight, look up on the hill. Somewhere Starlight is on a hill somewhere doing yoga. And but anyway, when I was out there, I came up with something for, this might not be everybody, but there's some people that are like this, and this could be for everybody, because it's going to be a little mixture of a couple combinations of different topics. So anyway, throughout my life, I have met many, 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 many people that I either was, related to or knew, or, I'm trying to think, or, that's about how that went, is either I was related to them or I knew them, somebody that I might have thought was a friend, or somebody that, somebody else knew, so one way or another is, there's some people, a lot, there's quite a bit out there, I don't know what the number would be, there's some people that are workers, like Starlight. I am a worker. I've worked my whole life, most of my whole life, and the only time I really didn't work is around the time before my kids went to school, so I was with my kids at that time, and I was forced, I had to go out, to go get a job, but when I was pregnant for my first, and before that, I didn't really work because I was so young. I didn't know any better and didn't know anything about working and getting a job because I never went to high school. But once I started my first, well, there's different kind of jobs. My first job, I'm like, oh my, what was my first job? My very first honest job, working, paying taxes kind of a job, not under the table kind of job, was when I was homeless, is I got caught stealing and I got put in jail, and because I didn't have anything to eat, and they locked me up, but for one night, and the next morning I ended up going to court, and they gave me a $50 voucher for food. They told me about this work a day, pay a day place that would really help out people that were homeless. That way they worked that night or that day and they got paid the next day. So I really needed that. I needed money, not just for food, because that food voucher was only for food. And at that point in those years, I was smoking cigarettes, and that was not the big, well, the most important thing at my time at that moment. But I worked at a toy factory. It was my very first honest paying job where, hey, I did those hours and, hey, I got money the next day. I believe that's how it went. So that was awesome. It gave me some money for other things if I wanted to buy things like, socks, underwear, those kind of things, or toilet paper, so pretty much, really after my babies had to start school, I started working at Burger King, and I've worked ever since. So I am a worker, and throughout my life is, like I mentioned in other videos, that I have been homeless many times in my life, and where I could have gone the easy route, and I don't really say it's easy, I say it's easy, but it's really not, is I could have gone to the government and got a handout, getting food stamps and getting, rent paid and my bills paid and stuff like that. Of course, I would have to go through, how much paperwork was that? And how many times do I have to bring this back to you? And, and what do you're going to tell me what to do now. Oh, okay, now I got to listen to you, or if I don't, then I won't get any money. I won't get it, So I'm good. I didn't want to go that route. I decided, years ago, is that Starlight's I'm not lazy. I'll go get me a job even though I'm homeless. And I did. I got a job and ended up building up my cleaning business, and so there's a lot of people out there in this world, and it is a sad thing that there's some people out there that really, 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 really have a disability, like my sister. She really, 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 really has a disability. She's blind and handicapped, and it's not her fault how she got like that, so that does happen to a lot of kids out there where maybe the mother or father, like the mother or or both, they might have been doing drugs or alcohol, and, it can cause your children to have problems. A lot of kids out in this whole world suffer from that, you know. So there are some people out in this world that really has some really bad issues, and they really absolutely cannot work. So I'm not here to pick on people, and I know a lady right now that she's got horrible back problems, that she's in pain all the time. So she cannot, and I've known people like this before in my past where, they can go out in public for like, you know, if they go out maybe a couple hours, when they get back home, they're in so much pain, you know, because of the stress on their back and stuff like that. And I've known people like that. So I'm not talking about people like that, but there is a lot of people that, they might have been able to get disability, but then you watch them and you're like, wow, you're over there painting and making money over here, and oh yeah, I see that you're doing some work over there and getting some money, like under the table kind of money, So I have known a lot of people out, in my lifetime that has done that, and they're still collecting that government money every month, and it might be like $1,000. It depends on, what the government gives them. And there's a lot of hurdles, though, to go through to get through that, to get that kind of money. And it's not a lot, though. And so there are some people out there in the world that believe that the world has to owe them. They believe that the world owes them this money. And there's a lot of people I've met, they don't want to work. They really don't. They don't want to work, and they rather, like just to get that government money. And the government sets this up really, because I don't agree with everything with the government. And, like I believe, like when I was homeless, is that, what? I proved to myself, I didn't have a lot of gas money in my vehicle. I only had a couple cleaning jobs, so, because I started my own cleaning business. But it wasn't enough to pay rent. It wasn't enough to get like a whole lot of food for the refrigerator, so the money that I did have at that point was really so important for the gas money in my vehicle. That was the most important, food. I could go get food at a church, where they can hand out food to me or something like that, but the gas money was the most important thing for my money to go to, you know, um, and I did. I worked really hard. And that's what this video is about. There's people that believe that the world has something to owe them, and it doesn't. You're wrong. We are in the matrix, and the government loves doing this stuff to people because really, there are people that I have actually worked for that that actually go to, like I used to work with handicapped people because I have a huge heart. I had a sister. She was like a daughter to me. I really was her mom at a very young age, growing up, being left alone with a little baby, and taking care of my sister. So I love my sister. So because I love my sister so much, I worked for handicapped people. And what I learned, here they were teaching them how to go out at different places that was simple enough for them to make money. And it was a big eye-opener. They had all different other problems that they had going on in their life. But you know what? These people were so happy that they were able to go out. And so what? I had a job like this when I started out when I was younger because I had a problem being around people out in public. I would have panic attacks or something. I don't know what was wrong with me, but because I'm an empath, like I told my daughter many times that this happened when my kids were little, is we would walk like a long distance, like more than a mile, to go to the grocery store on foot. And we would go with my food stamp money at the time, and we would get a whole bunch of groceries, and I would have some kind of a panic attack because I couldn't handle the energy with the people. So I thought there was something wrong with me that I would freak out like this around people. And that's what I noticed is like, I was fine all day, at home. But when I got around a crowd of people, I instantly was getting sick. something would cause me to get ill. Like, and so many times when I went shopping with my kids, I had the cart full, ready to cash out, and then I would get really hit hard being out in public with a bunch of people, and I left the cart there and we went home. And once I got home, I felt better. It went all away. So they gave me a job way back then. My daughter was probably like 5 years old, and my son would have been like 2. Where all I did was to put lollipops, make sure there was no broken pieces on the lollipops, and put them in containers and stack them in, and they had to go in a certain way. I had to count them. There had to be so many lollipops in that container, and then put a lid and move it over. So that's what these people in this building did, was to count lollipops, put it in the container, and you know what? It is so funny. The women that worked there, they worked there for a long time, and I got in there, and people got jealous of me because I did such a great job. Because I was only trying to do better than the day before. I wasn't competing towards anybody, but I had one female in there that got so upset because she worked there so much longer, and not that I seen anything wrong with her. It just I don't know. I just was doing good with lollipops, and you got to have a lot of free lollipops. So I always brought a lot of lollipops home with me for my kids. They loved that job, But you know what? It took, work, like I did. Even though I had problems and I wasn't surrounded by a lot of women and a lot of people, there's not very many people that were working in there. I was able to function and go to work and make money. So, so there are some people, they, they claim that they have disabilities, and it's sad because really when the government, I would actually find jobs. If I worked for the government, I'm like, you know what? I do understand that you do have this kind of problem, like some kind of disability, but you know what? If the people at a disability place, at a disability handicap place, can go and work and make money, there are jobs out there that where they, they can make money. They can go out and work. And like I said, those people that I was working, only getting, believe me, those jobs, they don't pay enough, 8 something, and they would never give me the full hours, they didn't want to give you the full hours. They gave you just one hour below, the hours to get those full hours, then you could get these benefits and all this and, like a good deal, vacation time and all this stuff that goes with it. But that's how that job place worked. And I loved working for those people, the handicapped people. I learned, and they're they're studying those people, learning all kinds of sort of interesting things from those people. Those people are beautiful. They are smarter than people give them credit for. I went in those places and, they love when a new worker comes in those places. They are not stupid. They're like, Starlight's new. We can get away with all kinds of stuff, and they will. They will see what they can get away with, and they think it's funny. They laugh, so they are so beautiful. They are not stupid. And but what I was saying with the government is that the government does this because the government does want the people to count on the government. A lot of times with the votes, the presidents and stuff like that, they, there's some presidents that, they'll say, yeah, we'll keep on giving you government handout money, and then they want to get those people their votes. They want their votes. They're like, yeah, the more people that we give DSS to, food stamps to, and free rent to, and give them all this stuff, then, later on down the road, they're going to want to vote for us because we're helping them out. But really, is the government really helping them out? What I've learned in my life the hard way, sometimes, it is tough love, really. What I call it is, there's some people sometimes by helping, you're not helping, because then the only thing that they're learning is that, hey, Anytime I need help, you're going to be there to help me out. That's all they learned. Not too long ago, I did reach out to ask for help from somebody, and, they never responded. They never, but really, they really didn't give me the help. And then I realized, you know what? I know why they're not helping me. They, they're actually very intelligent. You know, they want me to kind of figure this out on my own. They want me to get stronger that way. Because if they just handed me what I was asking for, then what would I learn? Then I would learn that, hey, I can do, just go and, nothing wrong with asking for help at times. But, it was a big eye opener, and I didn't get mad at the person. I thought hard about that, and I'm like, huh, I was confused at the moment, I got a message to ask for help, and I didn't know who else to ask for help, so I did. I'm like, hey, I'm like, I need help. And, was there anything wrong with that person not helping Starlight? Absolutely not, and, I just got it's kind of funny, as I just got a call today on my phone, and I was helping somebody out recently. I gave them a whole bunch of stuff, because they were going through a hard time. And, it's kind of weird is that this happens a lot, is that sometimes you help people out, and, after I gave them a whole bunch of good stuff, I really did. I don't give, like, I give the best out, like whatever I have, I give the best out to these, anybody that I give to. And, where it was kind of funny, a couple of days later, it was my birthday, and I never even received a happy birthday, or, I haven't heard my phone ring in like a month and a half now. Well, actually, it was like the August 25th, so almost a month. It was almost a month that I haven't even heard a phone call from this couple, and I realized that I couldn't be around them anyway, because, like, I'm not going to waste my time with people if they're lying to me. So, like, I gave them all that stuff. I blessed them with all those things, and then I walked away and I left. I'm like, I'm not going to waste my time, and that is tough love. It is tough love when, because, you know, and now, they're reaching back out, hoping that I'm going to come back through and do that again, and I received a couple of phone calls, one right after another today, of that couple that is like, oh yeah, like, we were just thinking about you, and thinking about all the love that you sent us to the last time, and, and they, the person did. They're asking for more, but, like, you vanished. I helped you out, and you just totally gone. So that is, and that's not what, like, Starlight, like, when somebody didn't help her out, it's not that I'm not there supporting them, because I am. I do support them all the time. So it had nothing to do with Starlight's not being there for that person. I'm always there for that person, and it's just that that person is teaching me, that it's given me confidence knowing that I can do this. That person knows that I am stronger than I even think, and smarter than I know, or, like, so, and that's what the government should really do with people, but the government doesn't do that with people. Now, some people, they do go out for, like, a handout, and they might not have a disability, and they're like, okay, well, here this, we're going to give you this paper, and you got to go out, and you got to knock on doors, you got to go, like, at job sites, and you got to write down that, because I've been here, I've been there, done that, you got to, like, so many days, you got to have information written down of all the job places that you went to. And it, sometimes the government does actually put some people to work because they don't have any kids, and there are people out there, that's what they do, is they're like, hey, let's have another baby so we don't have to work. That's got to stop, really. That has got to stop. Sometimes, to be honest with you, when I started out, I didn't really know this, but some people might be aware of this and some people might not be aware of this, is that, like, say if the guy is older than the female and the guy doesn't want to go to work, and the girl might be really young and she might not really understand how this whole system works, where he might purposely get her pregnant, and so she has to take, she can't go to work then, up to a certain, some women do, they work all the way up until a certain time of the pregnancy, where then he knows that they're going to get food stamps and they're going to get all this help and all that stuff. So there are men and women that purposely go out, and are they good dads and mom? I don't know about that. Are they good parents? I don't know. I've seen some funky stuff out in my life, because they don't want to work. They just want the government to be able to give them rent free, so you do really got to understand that, and it says in the Bible too about work, there is nothing wrong with work, I know, like, the people that were handicapped that work where I used to work, they were happy. They were so excited. And they didn't get a lot. They didn't get paid the full amount of money that everybody else was getting because they didn't do perfect jobs. But they were so thrilled when they got their paychecks. They were so excited. And then they had people, some workers that would help them to learn how much, like, say if they only made $100 one week, because they're only working so many hours, they only can, do like so many hours, maybe 2 hours of, working to start them off with, they kind of build up and, to get them to be more independent. Dependent, not, independent. So, and it was so beautiful where they were learning. They're like, okay, this is how much money you have, and this week you can spend, like so much money. And then they would take them around and go shopping and see what they wanted and say, okay, that costs, and they would subtract how much money they had left. But, they were so happy to go back, to their job. And then they would mix it up and they would learn different jobs. And then, and then there's sometimes they had a lot of stress going through some of those jobs, just like any of us. But then they, as they got better, because they would have like a job coach there to help them out, then they, they had to get along with the coworkers. There's so many things that was involved for these people. But if they can do it, there's a lot of other people out there I know they can do it, And, the weird thing is about this is that a lot of those people, when they're getting government money and they're not working, but they're able to work, is they'll complain. They'll complain that, because, that's how the system works. They just barely give you enough money. Normally always at the end of the month, you're like scratching for food or toilet paper. You're like, where'd the toilet paper go? Whoops, sorry. And I've known some people that when they start running out, they run out of dog food, they have a dog, and then they're like, here, have some steak with me, or here, eat some of my food. So then some of their food goes to their dog, and the dog, sometimes dogs will eat anything and everything. So, so anyway, that was part of my message. The other part of this message is, really, if you want things in this life, I'll tell you what, no matter what, you got to work freaking hard for it. Nothing comes easy, not in this world, and it's the way the universe actually has it, where, yes, working is not always easy. Yes, you got to punch, like when I had my own cleaning business, I didn't have a boss telling me, hey, Starlight, you got to show up at to have your own business, you're the one that's got to make sure, you're, you make your phone calls that you got to do or whatever. You got to show up. I always like being like ahead of time because it takes me time to get the stuff out of my car. If you can't make it, you got to call. It's a big responsibility. to do it all on your own. So no matter how, no matter what kind of job you do, you got to work hard. And there's things that Starlight desires in her life. Like I've been working on myself for years now. I've been working on myself all my life, but from really 2016 and on, really, I have been, with the help of a deep diver out there, Infinite Waters, Ralph Smart, I'm going to put that out because he deserves all of this credit, of course, he deserves a lot of credit for guiding me and teaching me. He's a master teacher, but if I didn't do the work, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I could watch thousands of videos, but if I don't do something about what I'm hearing, then nothing's going to happen. So the only reason why things have changed in my life is because I do have an awesome mentor out there, and I am doing the work. And I'll tell you, it has been a big battle. But you know what? I am not giving up. And this is what this video is about, is I understand some of you probably are struggling in life, trying to, like have enough money, for a month, like to be able to pay everything, and especially if you got kids, especially if you're single mom or single dad, these days it's more common, like to have a single dad, or where, like families are split up where the child goes back and forth, the child might go, at the mom's for the weekdays because of school, and the dad might have the kids on the weekends or whatever, because it is hard. You got to be living in the same school district and all that stuff to be able to do that, especially through the weekdays, so you got to keep on fighting, though. You got to keep on working hard, really. You can't give up now. Please do not give up. You got to, it is challenging out there, but you know what? The universe wants to give the blessing, bless you with your, whatever it is that you desire. But, no matter how this goes, you've got to work for it. And there's going to be times that you're going to be crying, you're going to be wondering what is going on, and what I've been learning with my mentor is not to ask, why is this happening? Because that's what Starlight did her whole life. Why is this happening? Is that I got to understand. It's to ask the universe is why. Not why, but I'm sorry about that. Is universe, what are you trying to show me? Ask the universe, like if you're going through a hard time, really, there's no... The universe doesn't mind that you cry and reach out for help. That's what the universe is there for. The universe knows that, the universe knows everything that you're going through. And, you can ask the archangels, ask for guidance like I had in those videos about, like, ask the universe, ask the archangels, like, I got so many numbers right now I do have to look up, bam, 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 and it's weird if you don't look them up, it just will, they'll keep on popping at you, these numbers. So I do. It's like okay, I got these numbers, I got to look them up. And, but you got to take action. You can't just, partway, halfway do something and then expect things to happen. No, you got to be diligent, really diligent. Like my son's learning about potty training a boy. I told him, consistent. You gotta have consistent. You gotta be consistent. And this is the same way with, going through a spiritual journey and, becoming your greatest version that you want to be, or becoming the change that you want to see in the world. It does. You gotta be consistent. You can't give up. You can't, like if I decided, like with my yoga or my meditation, because this happened when I went camping, I couldn't get the internet service the whole time, or I would start doing a meditation and I'm like listening to it and I lost the internet connection, and I'm like, so and besides I was getting bit up by mosquitoes. So those days that I went out camping, I'm used to always having a guided meditation for, clearing things out of my body. I have to really work on myself as far as that goes, is learning how to meditate. I like doing, long meditations, 45 minutes, and then sometimes I'll do another guided meditation that might be 30 minutes long, like I like doing those kind of amounts, or if they're really powerful, maybe an hour long of guided meditations. So I noticed with those days that I missed, it took a little bit, for me to get back on track when I got back home and I had everything put away and I started, I'm like, those few days really did it. I felt like everything was changing because I wasn't able to clear things out. I didn't feel, my good 100%, because I missed some time and, and of course the universe was giving me signs and saying, Starlight, you got to spend more time in spirituality, girl. We love you, and you got to take more time out and do your meditations and, yoga. I wasn't doing yoga out there, you know. So I felt like I messed up, but it was a real good, valuable lessons. I love doing my yoga every day, and if I don't do a yoga every day or it's not the same. It can really mess you up. And, I get clarity, I get things cleared out of my body when I do the guided meditation, especially when you're clearing out negative energy from other people that, we rub elbows against, out in public somewhere. And it doesn't take much, you know. I believe people leave a resin behind if somebody's in a space and you walk in this space. I believe they leave some kind of energy behind in that space. I don't know how long that lasts. Kind of like when you walk around and the dog can sniff your trail because, whether you know this, it's like you're kind of shedding as you're walking and they can find you, So that's the way I look at it with energies is that, that we, I believe in, I've been in people's houses and I can prove this. I've been in people's houses cleaning. And this is, one of the reasons why I did want to give it up too, is I would go in people's homes that, some of the people, some of the women, lost their, even men actually lost either their wife or their husband or their family members. And, I would pick up if the lady was crying in her bathroom, I was feeling fine. I was feeling great. I don't want to use that word fine. I was feeling great, had a great morning, would drive to the person's house, would start cleaning in the bathroom, and boom, I'm cleaning and, there's an energy, there's something that got left behind, and I knew that this lady, and it took me like a long time to figure out what the heck. What is it? And it wasn't every time I went in that lady's bathroom. It was like every so many, I cleaned for that lady every 2 weeks, so it wasn't every 2 weeks, that I was crying in their bathroom, for no reason. I didn't even have any thoughts going in my mind. It wasn't me, but I was picking up the energy that was left behind. She must have been in that bathroom and she did have a problem with alcohol. So, I wouldn't doubt it that maybe she had a horrible weekend and got drinking, and because she had a good mom, I actually, her sister and her was doing the same stuff, that they turned to alcohol because they missed their mother. They had a great mom. Some people don't know what that's like to have a great mom, and to when they're gone. I do know a lot of women that lost their moms, and they struggle every day with the loss of their mother because they had good moms. So if you're a good mom, really, I really thank you. And I know I wasn't a perfect mom, but I did the very best. My kids are amazed. I know my son is amazed. My daughter's amazed. They don't even know how the heck did a single mom bring up my two kids. They both don't understand how I did it. Where they had, my daughter had a husband and my son has a wife, and they struggled, bringing up their kids. And here I did it all on my own without the help of a man, really. Not, there was not one that stayed around for long, put it that way, so they're amazed, but it takes a lot of work, being a good mom, and I'm going to have a video on that coming up soon. I see stuff out in public and I'm like, it's a lot of work. Taking care of a child, people just, I don't think they realize how much work it does to take care of a child, to be a great mom and a great dad. It really does. I think they get deceived. They look around out in the world and they see how everybody else is doing, but they don't see behind the scenes, they don't see the struggles that these people go through, and there's times that parents, they need a break, and it is so important to get a break. But if you do get a break, make sure that person is safe. So anyway, I know my minutes are long here, but if you struggle and you think you can't do it, believe me, you can. Like, start out little and work your way up. Go get a part-time job. Go out and go out, or even if you got to volunteer somewhere, do some volunteer work somewhere, and then get familiar, get comfortable with people, and then later on you could get like a part-time job, like you don't have to work all the time, just like those people that are disabled and stuff like that, and have some kind of problems, is that they start them out little, and then they work their way up, to get more hours, and they're so proud of themselves. That's what's so important, is that you are going to get rewarded later on when you get your, like I know how it was when I got my, of course Burger King didn't pay much, where I said, oh, I worked how many hours, and really that I felt like a slave, and this is all I got. Like, I got 2 kids. It's just the system really rots when it comes to that kind of stuff. I don't agree with the taxing when it comes to single moms and single dads or whatever, how they tax those people. So anyway, I do love you. Is if you the world doesn't owe us anything. God does want us to work. I was taught when I was a kid, if you don't work, you don't eat. So working is really good, and you do feel better about yourself knowing that you can do it. So think about the people that you have in your life. Sometimes, you might not want to help them out, because then, what it does, it teaches them that they can actually do it on their own, so, they have to, they got to learn that they can do it on their own, and I do understand there's some people that really have some disabilities that they absolutely cannot go out and to work. They struggle. They really do struggle the day to day, so I'm not here to pick on any of those people, but I have known lots of people in my life that they were able to work. They could go to work. That's why they were working under the table. So anyway, I do love all of you, and if you are a worker and you do go out and hey, if you have your own business, congratulations. To me, that's the best, really. Be your own boss. Set your own hours. How much do you want to get paid? That's what I loved about my cleaning job, is I got to say, hey, these are the hours. I had the 10 to 5, and hey, like, I started out, so really I did it all wrong in the beginning, but as I grew in my business, I got to set, hey, this year I'm going to up it. It's a new year, prices went up. I can't keep the same price. And I did that for a long time. I kept the same price for years. And then they get upset when I raise it. I'm like, hey, I've been charging this much how many years now? I do need a raise here. So anyway, I do love you. And you do feel better. And if you don't like your job, please go find another one that you can be happy with. It's so important. So anyway, I do love you. You can give this video a thumbs up. You can share my videos with a cat, a dog, a caterpillar. They are so beautiful. Starlight loves picking up caterpillars. Normally they are always under the leaves somewhere, and you never know where a caterpillar is going to be. And yeah, you could share with a caterpillar, and also you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can push the notification bell. I will ring it. You can leave a message down below, beep, beep, beep. And you can follow me on Instagram, and that's at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook at Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. And this is the latest I've ever made a video. But anyway, I do love you, and I will see you soon. I hope some of you get some help from these videos here. And this is Starlight. Love and light. Peace.